What's up, everybody? This is Passion 9. Yes, I am back. I'm back to talk a little more about Attack on Titan. Which, I was gonna do those. Each episode I was gonna review one at a time. In my last video I reviewed episode 1 of the new season. Final season. And, well, I got caught up in other things, you know what I mean? Sometimes life just throws you off your track a little. And I won't say where I was or how I was, because, well, if I ever intend to do that, I don't think it'll be in this video. But let's just say I was in a couple of locations sequentially that did not allow me to do what I'm doing right now. I didn't have anything, that could record stuff, so, it's that kind of deal, you know what I mean? So, I kind of missed episode 2, 3, as they were airing, then finally caught 4 recently. I had to, watch it on my phone, which, for a show as bombastic as Attack on Titan, normally I would be a little bummed out I had to do that, but to be fair, these last 3 episodes were pretty heavy on the dialogue and character building and world building and all that stuff. So obviously they were giving us that first episode as like a tease for what the action in this new season is going to look like. So fortunately, watching it on my phone really wasn't necessarily a bad thing, because episodes 2, 3, and 4, again, we're all very wordy, just setting things up, setting up a lot that I'm very excited about. And yeah, so the way I did this is I figured, screw it, I'll just review all 3 episodes, give my impressions on the show so far. And I still say it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. I'm liking it. I'm liking the slow burn in particular when it comes to where our major players are at this point in the story. You know what I mean? We're learning a lot more about Marley as a nation, and there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Learning more about Reiner. In fact, I'll just go ahead and say it. I mean, Reiner pretty much dominated episode 2 and 3. He was a big focal point. We get to see his origins a bit. When he first came to, is it Paradise Island or Paradise? I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's just straight up Paradise. But the Eldian Island, we see them first arrive. We see sort of a recap of what they were setting out to do, to break through the walls that the Eldians were hiding in. We get to see a lot of the preamble to that. We see, how these kids are raised to, buy into all this propaganda, this Marleyan propaganda, and what kind of pushes them to, carry on these missions, despite how scary it is for them. Because even though they are Eldians, and they are Titan shifters, they still have to contend with other mindless Titans that are like zombies, essentially. The average Titan is a mindless monster. They don't really have strategy or anything like that. So you have these, what were originally called abnormals, of course, like the Armored Titan and the Colossal Titan and so on and so forth, that are the exceptional ones. They're the ones that can retain their intelligence and their consciousness to some degree, and that's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool seeing sort of what led Reiner and Annie and Berthold, all these characters, including the one dude who was eaten before they even made it to the walls by Ymir. He was gobbled up. Also, a quick aside here, I've heard on the web some people saying that, what's her name? Ymir was eaten, apparently, not eaten, killed. I don't think anybody ate her. Although, she wasn't abnormal, so maybe somebody did. I don't know. There was a very brief scene where we see her getting like tortured or interrogated. Maybe I have to go back and watch that episode again. It was a very quick scene, but I was shocked to hear people saying, "Oh man, Ymir's dead." It's like, wait, is she? Like there wasn't much established there. All I saw was her in like ropes all tied up and everything, or chains, or whatever it was. And I mean, I get why that would happen, given like, you know, the shady allegiance that Ymir has or doesn't have, or lack thereof. So I guess it makes sense that she'd end up in a prisoner of some kind, but I did not expect her to just be killed off like that. So clearly I wasn't paying enough attention to the scene, or the scene was just a little too, you know, quick cut to make me realize what the hell was going on. Because Ymir seems like an important character. It's kind of weird if she did just get killed off like that. So I hope that's not the case, but I guess I'll have to find out. Maybe rewatch it. But it's interesting because, I mean, she did help them. She was kind of on their side in the end. At the end of season 2, like, we see her escape with them. But what's strange is that she's not present for the Battle of Shiganshina. You know, Wall Rose or whatever. So that's kind of odd. All of a sudden she's just brought up as like a prisoner. So I mean, that's a thing. But at any rate, Reiner, we get a lot of backstory with Reiner, which is cool. And we learn a little bit more about how Marley sends these kids out, you know, to prove their worth or their value to Marley society. It's like, go out there, go bust down those walls and bring back the founding Titan. It also leads me to wonder how Zeke came onto the island, though, because we don't see him. We don't see him with that group. So I wonder where he came in. Did he just decide to show up later? Like years later, after Eren and them were all trained up? Because I mean, we haven't gotten any real confirmation there. Now there are manga readers, people who read the manga of Attack on Titan already and are, you know, further ahead, who are already saying that stuff had to be rushed or cut over. And again, that still makes me wonder: is this going to be like, are these 16 episodes going to be the whole finale? And because if they're already skipping over stuff, or they're kind of doing a God of High School sort of thing, where they cut past a lot of important details in a very condensed manner, and I know people complain about that. I feel like it could be both a benefit and a detriment to not know the original source material, you know what I mean? I guess at the end of the day, as long as I'm entertained, I don't care if they skip over stuff, as long as it feels like we're not missing anything huge. And that bit with Ymir, I think that was the first time in this season so far that I felt like, wait, what? I saw her as a prisoner for a fleeting second, but I don't remember them saying, okay, you die now, or anything like that. So maybe that's proof that they are cutting through some material that the manga fleshed out a bit better, maybe. I don't know. But nonetheless, what I think these episodes do really well is kind of, again, there's a slow burn going on. There's definitely like a calm before the storm, you know what I mean? You know, for these whole episodes so far, 2, 3, and 4, we don't really see any Titan action. We barely know where the Scout Regiment is from the original, from the first 3 seasons, which is interesting, because there's at least one dude that shows up in these episodes that, I mean, I kind of know already. I feel like most Attack on Titan fans should probably know, even if you haven't been looking at some of the manga tweets, people tweeting manga images online or whatever. He's Eren. I think it's safe to say he's Eren. I mean, the eyes, man, the eyes. He's got them green eyes. He's got that 1,000-yard stare. You know, and he's all beat up. He's got a amputated leg going on. He's got a crutch. So I don't know what that's about. I guess he snuck into Marley's Titan force, their military or something, somehow, and I guess he got injured somehow. But it's an interesting mystery, because at this point I'm pretty much convinced all the scouts are obviously in hiding, right? They're all hiding among the Marleyan civilians, like wolves among the sheep, as they like to, you know. It's a good way of saying it, isn't it? The wolves among the sheep. I'm interested to see what is this going to build up to. You know what I mean? Obviously, the preview for episode 4 in particular makes me think the shit's going to hit the fan very soon. But I wonder what the whole plan was. I feel like we're going to get a big reveal of what this coup was. And hopefully they're not cutting through material that would better establish all this. Because we saw Jean, we saw him reading the newspaper, and now we've got Eren as like a cripple. And I may have said this before, but it's kind of strange that it doesn't grow back. His leg doesn't grow back right away. Can he, like, control that now? Has he mastered his Titan powers so much that he can control his regeneration? Because I don't know what other explanation there would be for that. Like, there's got to be something. So that's going to be interesting. And he looks all ragged. He's got, like, a beard going on. His hair's all grown out. It's like... But, I mean... The episode... What's it? Episode 4? I think it was episode 4. He's seen by this old man. This old man comes up to him on the bench. He's hanging out at like this war hospital or something. Everybody's like beat up or traumatized. So it's some kind of war hospital. And this old dude comes up to Eren, and he's just like, "Hey, yo, I know you've been getting one of those Eldian kids to like run mail for you, run letters around the city. Like, what's that about?" And he's kind of grilling him. He's like, says he knows he's a suspicious character. But the real freaking shocker is finding out that that's actually Eren's grandfather. As soon as he says that, he says, "My name's Jaeger." I'm like, I didn't know exactly what to think right away, because I kind of forgot that, like, yeah, his granddad is still around. Grisha's father is still around, and he would be an old dude at that point. And it was like, holy shit. You got Eren using a fake alias, Kruger. So he's definitely hiding. He's definitely a mole of some kind. And the letters he has Falco running, I mean, I do wonder, like, are they for the other scouts, maybe? That are also in hiding? And then we get that one bit with the woman in the kimono, this old chick. I don't know who she's supposed to be, but we get a little interesting moment there where she knows that the kids there that are serving and everything, the little Eldians, she knows that they're Eldians right away. She can tell, even without the armbands or whatever. She just knows. Which, if you think back to the ending of Season 3, is actually something that apparently they can do. They're Titan shifters or whatever that have the ability to, like, sense when somebody else is. And again, it's one of those things that's kind of vague right now. I don't know if we're going to get more clarification on it. I mean, at this point, the Titan powers, what they can and can't do and all that is... It's the kind of thing that, like, I feel like the more explanation we get, the more, like, you know, bonkers it's actually going to seem. So I feel like we know Eren especially is a special kind of Titan with the capacity to control other Titans. So, I don't know, there's all sorts of weird rules that haven't really been, like, firmly established. But nonetheless, I think it's cool that we have so many people in Marley that could be working for this other side, maybe. I mean, she didn't look like any of the scouts, Hell, it got to the point where I thought for a second that, like, that was gonna be Mikasa just disguised as some older person. She was gonna pull off like a mask, Scooby-Doo style, and be like, "Yo, I'm cool. I'm just hiding out. I got this mask on and wearing a kimono." But yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what the next episode is gonna be, because so far, other than Jean and Eren, we haven't seen anybody else. So hopefully they're not skipping over too much material in this thing, because I'm already getting some murmurs of that through osmosis, that people already are afraid that it's gonna be a little too condensed compared to the manga. But I'm enjoying the delayed gratification. I guess that's what's the best way to put it. But I hope the anime is preserving this build-up the way it should be, because it's a great idea to have Eren and his scout regiment basically reversing the whole thing, just kind of putting the shoe on the other foot. Now they're the invaders, now they're the ones hiding among, you know, their people, Reiner and the gang, Zeke and them. You know, they're just fighting fire with fire now, so it's like, where's that gonna go? I can't wait to see how that's gonna unfold. And not much else to say production-wise with these episodes, because again, there's really zero action in these 3 episodes. It's all character stuff. It's all world building. There's no explosive, badass Titan stuff going on. However, unlike the start of Season 3, which I thought got a little too, like, plot ropey, a little, like, too much being said, too much lore being dropped on you all at once. It was a bit exasperating to me. You know, it makes up for it later, but I didn't enjoy the slow burn in Season 3 as much as I am with this season. This is far more interesting, because even though we're not getting a lot of action beats, the implications on display are just so chilling. You know, it gives you chills, man. When Eren's grandfather is like freaking out, he's going all post-traumatic on him because he remembers, you know, when Grisha took his sister out of the city internment zones or whatever, and then she got munched on by a bunch of dogs. She became chow food, you know what I mean? So it's pretty neat. We see him freak out and flip out. He's losing it. And Eren's just like all steely and cold there, and he's just like, doesn't give a shit. He had to know who that was. He had to know that that was, because he has all of Grisha's memories now. He has all of his father's memories. So it's like he has 2 lives worth of memories in his head, which is pretty wild. But technically he knows Marley. He knows that everything his father Grisha knew, he now knows. So that's an interesting development for this character. And I can't wait to see where that unfolds. And again, most of this 3-episode slow burn was all about building up Reiner a bit more. We even see him attempting suicide at one point, because he's sick of the whole Titan system. He's sick of the whole game that they're forced to play as you know, sort of like this demonized citizenship. You know, they're not real Marlerians, they're more like just disposable weapons. So even Reiner is like, he's fed up, he's about to put a bullet in his mouth until little Falco comes along and stops him. Not that he knew what was going on, but you know, his timing was good, because he was about to like shoot his head off. I don't think even a Titan shifter can regrow their heads. I think once your brain is gone, I don't think he was gonna come back, so that was a close call. But it also proves that Reiner himself is still struggling with, you know, the double lives he was forced to live you know, when he was pretending to be a part of the Scouts regiment. And I like that they worked that in there. I like that there's... He's not happy where he is. Reiner is not happy. And he doesn't like the fact that these kids, this next generation of potential Titan shifters, are all pumped and excited and totally ignorant of what they're in for. You know, he doesn't want them to go down the same shit way, you know what I mean? The same shitty highway he went down with Berthold and all of them. And we get that scene, that tense scene where he's just explaining and describing all of his experiences on Paradise Island, and it's like, it's kind of eerie because you can tell he's still conflicted. He still doesn't quite believe that they're really bad people either. He's just on a side, you know, that he can't really leave behind. Between a rock and a hard place, you know. And that's what I've always loved about this series, the way it humanizes the inhumanity of war. You know what I mean? How, like, propaganda from both sides makes it impossible for the majority to really see what's going on. You know what I mean? That it's all pretty pointless stuff. Just old grudges and revenge cycles, perpetuated by bullshit, by lies. You know, it's like it's turning into like a really fascinating, scary war parable, and I'm really loving it. We also have some new players into the series that are not related to any of the other characters that I'm aware of, and that's the Tibbler family, the Tiber. I'm never gonna know how to pronounce that. So the T folks, the T family. And again, much like the only criticism I have of these last 3 episodes is that there's a lot of getting information out between all these characters that feels a little, I don't know if rushing is quite the word, but it feels like it's going by a little too quick. And there's a lot of exposition in these episodes coming from a lot of different characters, and we still don't really have the full picture of what's happening. So then they introduced this royal family. I don't know if, are they even royal? They're something. They're like super wealthy. And apparently they are Eldians that have like this prestige behind them compared to other Eldians in Marley. I don't know if they're supposed to be just like the top dogs, so they get a little more respect. They get like, I don't know. I didn't quite catch what they were supposed to be. I just know it's a cool wrinkle to add to the plot, because it shows that not all Eldians, even in Marley, are necessarily living in the same conditions as the others. You know, they're still considered like the devil race, or the devilish Titan shifters, but there seems to be a bit of a higher echelon for this group. And we get an introduction to that blonde dude, Bishonen boy. I don't remember his name, but he has the long blonde hair. Kind of looks like Alan Shazar from Escaflowne, I'll be honest. And he seems like a big deal, because he's talking about like Titan history and how his lineage is like this big burden. And we have that statue out there that's depicting that a human was the one that stopped the Titan Empire. So that's an interesting detail. I don't know what that means, but I'll look forward to finding out more, because it's interesting stuff. There's a lot being introduced here. There's a lot being set up. But now I do wonder if 16 episodes, if that is the full count, is going to be enough to, I don't know, get us to wherever it is we need to go. Because once Eren activates his Titan, which he's already sort of kinda did, if the previews are anything to go by. You know, he tells Reiner right then and there, and then that basement, he's like, hey, been a long time, 4 years. Like, he's not even concerned about meeting Reiner face to face. So, like, what gives? What the hell is about to happen? Because I feel like it would be pointless for them to go into hiding if they're waiting for... I mean, there is some kind of, like, theater thing they're setting up. Some kind of historical thing about the history of Marley or some shit that they're setting up. Maybe it's because there'll be a lot of people in one spot. But then they were mentioning like demolitions and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, there's a lot going on in these last 3 episodes. That's all I gotta say. There's a lot going on, a lot of plotting, scheming, and it's all a bit much to digest. In fact, before doing episode 5, I'll definitely rewatch these episodes because I feel like there's at least 1 or 2 moments that maybe just went over my head on that first viewing. But of course, I'm also reviewing 3 episodes at once, so doesn't help matters. I'm gonna try and be more consistent with episodes going forward, because it's easier to miss certain details when I gotta do it all in 3 episodes. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I'm quite excited to see where it goes. I like Eren's new demeanor. I think it's pretty neat that he's changed so much. I love, in general, in fiction, especially when it's something as gritty and sort of grounded. Well, ground is not really the right word. As serious and gritty as Attack on Titan. I like to see them like jump ahead in time, and it's like, oh, this isn't the Eren you remember. This is a grown-ass man now. And it does give the whole thing, especially the last 3 seasons, a lot more poignancy, I guess. It's more poignant because, you know, we remember them a certain way for so long, and yeah, it's like a bit of a shock. It's like a little bit of a shock to see, like, I can't wait to see the other scouts. But I do wonder if the next episode is going to be the big attack. Like, is that it? Because that might be a little disappointing. I kind of wanted to see them slowly reveal each of the scouts in hiding. Like, where are they? What are they doing? Ooh, there's Mikasa. She's doing that. And, ooh, there's Armin. He's over there selling Kit Kats or something. And I don't know, like, I want a little more of that build-up. A little more of that, like, that gravitas, you know, of, like, a slow burn, a slow simmer. And it keeps building and building. Because that's one of the best things in fiction, of having like a big coup d'etat like that, or whatever's the best term, where everybody's in hiding. There's like that espionage element to it. Again, things that episode 3 actually did a little bit of, when the scouts had to clear their name and dethrone the false king or whatever. But it's definitely more interesting to me now, this approach, and hopefully the anime is not skipping over too much with that stuff, because I would like to see it fleshed out a bit more. But I'm also wondering how the hell Eren is supposed to just stay in hiding if he led Reiner right to, you know, he had this kid bring Reiner down to that basement to have this chat. It's like, what is he doing? Is he trying to get Reiner to join him or something? He has to be pretty confident. There has to be a plan, right? There has to be something involved that would make him go with this, you know? And chat it up with his old enemy. Or frenemy, you know? I guess that's the thing. Him and Reiner have known each other. They trained together under the falsehood of being friends. You know, when he's actually the one who broke through those walls in the first place. But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. For now, I'm really just enjoying the fact that Marley is being established so well as a new location in the series, and all this stuff with the Eldians and how they're kind of like weapons for this society is being fleshed out in interesting ways. Like, I'm totally down. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for episodes 2, 3, and 4. Not as much to dig into on a technical level because of the fact that, you know, they're setting all this stuff up. But I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to see more. Right now, I'm just going to try my best to... There we go. Okay. Cody was getting the better of me for too long, and I had to put him in his place. Alright. So yeah, Attack on Titan, Season 4. I'm freaking pumped. You know, and we're already getting word about this Warhammer Titan, which I'm excited to see. I guess my initial thought that it was actually one of the kids that was getting that form or that power. I don't know if that's the case. In fact, I'm starting to wonder if they ever inherit anybody's powers, or if they're just, you know, if they become more of an important part of the plot. Maybe their innocence is like, well, I wouldn't say preserved, because they've already did plenty of killing, but maybe they ultimately are spared the Titan cycle. Maybe they don't become Titans, and that becomes a big part of the story. Who knows? Maybe Reiner is just trying to keep them away from it, you know, and breaking through the system, you know, because again, he's obviously still an extremely conflicted character. It's also worth mentioning we don't get a lot of Zeke in this episode, so that was a little bit of a downer. I would have liked to have caught up with him more in the plot. We see him go reunite with his grandparents, but that's about it. We don't really see much of Zeke. So yeah, I guess he'll have his continued spotlight at some point. He does have one of the more weird and interesting Titans, so I am a fan. I'm a Zeke fan. I'm an Armored Titan fan. I like them all. I want a bunch of Titan plushies. I could just put on my bed and be like, yo. No, I'm only kidding. I don't want Titan plushies. There are some things that just shouldn't be plushies. So, I don't know about that. I think that's a bit much. But, yeah. Anyway, I think that about sums it up. What do you say? I think that does it. So, yeah. You guys let me know what you think. Have you been watching this season? Are you stoked for what's coming next? Are you disappointed? Do you think the manga is already the better version of this plot? Let me know if there's anything I missed in these 3 episodes that is worth bringing to the table. And until next time, live for the passion. Ciao.